It's Friday morning. John's on the digger. Rob's got the chipper. Sun's so bright. There's the chipper. Some of there. Rob's got the chipper fired up, ready to do some chipping. I've got a puncture. Yesterday my car was bleeping saying that the pressure was low in the back right tyre, and it doesn't look it, but it's not very hard at all. So there's a place up the road that fixes punctures, so I don't know whether to just quickly whip it, rather than take it to him, just whip it off and take just the wheel. I got this a few years ago, last year, whatever, and I thought it was rubbish because I couldn't get it to blow a Merlot wheel up. But Rob reckons it's brilliant, and he's been using it quite a lot on the mower. So it must have just been the valve on the Merlot that something was wrong with. Anyway, I'm going to blow up the car tyre, and then I'll just take it to the garage, because they'll have the low profile jacks and the right sockets, won't they, to undo the alloys and whatever. John's just took the Bateman to the workshop because the oil filter on the engine is weeping slightly, so it just needs a bit of a tightening up. Yeah, I think it's probably done like 100 hours before the filter's just started to weep. Yeah, that filter there just needs tightening slightly. Probably do that, won't it? Then we'll tighten it. You must have put like remote pipes on to put it here under the front so it's easier to get at. Only had 12 psi in it, anyway, up to 17 now. That is pretty good, that is up to 25 nearly. Well, it is now. That is pretty complicated, isn't it? Never mind the rains down in Africa. Could do with some rains in Britain. That was the Badger that had let the tyre down. And now he all sorted. Just doing some pictures for the Times about the dry weather, and listen. It's like walking on snow, the ground's that crisp. Look at the mustard. Can you see the heat haze though? Across the field. Or was the camera taking it out? You can see it coming up in rows though. And it's just about got enough moisture to grow. Let me try and find a row. Oh, you can see here actually where the drill's pulled out at the end. See the rows there now or not? Was the sun too bright? Probably the sun's a bit too bright. Actually, that's better, isn't it? There you go. That's managed to find some moisture. Guys just turned up to do the compressor yearly inspections. I've got to go up to Brookhouse and drop some framework off for a gazebo. My mum's not having a party for a birthday, but she's having a get together. Don't know what the difference is. So we've got to go and put that up in case it's too hot for them. I was like, she's panicking it was going to rain, and I was like, it's not going to rain, but now it might be too hot, so we've got to go and put this up. Yeah, we're just going to put this up here now and then pick the cherry picker up. Cracking day though. Don't know whether we need to mow the grass again. The only thing that seems to be growing at the moment is grass. There seem to be 12 of them missing, so I think we've got left at the other yard, so Rob's going to have a look now. We seem to be a whole set of legs missing. So it's more of a cave at the moment. I'm going to shoot back the yard and see if we can find it. Find them, I think there's 8 missing. I'm in the office, we found the missing legs. Rob was carrying them from across the road to this side of the road to put on the trailer to bring up before. And they were that heavy, he put a box down, then went across with the Merlot. Went to the box he put down is the one that was missing. So right now, anyway, I'm back here because I've got to do the green screen. I'm going to do something for GB News now about the tariff that we're talking about at the moment. Just done GB News. The guy, one of the presenters, was a little bit, I'm not going to say not on side, but didn't really understand it. So I'll show you that interview at the end of it. Anyway, this is what I've just put out on Twitter. lots of people have been ringing me up about the trade deal stuff that's happened with the US. Now, I am all about free trade going both ways, so long as the standards are all the same. But it seems, and it's a good deal, but it seems to not be a good deal, because I believe that beef will be able, 14,000 tonnes a year of beef will be able to come in tariff free. But when our beef goes the other way, that's still going to have a tariff on. That doesn't sound like a very good deal. Also, the ethanol. Ethanol production in the UK is the E10, what you see on your fuel pumps. So basically 10% of your fuel has got ethanol in it. That is made from grains. Once it's made out of grains, the grains then get used for animal feed, which then produces, you know, subsidised beef and sheep and pork. Well, now the ethanol can come from the US. They can produce it very cheap because they can use farming practices that are illegal here to make their cost of production less. They've got the cheap energy. That will then come over here, the ethanol. Once the ethanol has made it into our market, it undermines the price of our wheat, which is already below the cost of production. So it doesn't sound like a good deal to me that the US has now got cheap Range Rovers. It just seems like a very bad deal. GB news done. I've just been washing off the picnic tables because we brought them up and they're so dusty from the yard. And the lads have finished that off while I've been doing the interview. So eventually found the legs. Cracking day anyway. Andrew's been smartening up here. Trim that hedge right back, put a little bit of a fence up because it was all gappy. Just needs a bit of wood chip along there. Started on the garden. Obviously we cut the grass the other week, that's not really done a lot. He's trimmed them trees there to let more light in, because they were getting ridiculously high. That's far better now. Now he's flinging flags in a bucket.
It's better, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, next job. Sort this roller out. So there's a bit of track missing. So Joe's giving me some. Just realised though it's the wrong end. That's an end stop for the left, not the right. So we'll have to try and modify it or put a bolt through that to stop it. We'll go up. I'll knock the rail along a little bit because it's come out of that bracket, see? And then chop that to length, re-drill that lintel and put that up. It's mad how two dissimilar metals rust so much together. That's aluminium and steel. It's solid. So just tapping it along and then get it to the right place, and then we'll have to trim it. If you're going to hit it with one out. Now I need to get this tube back in here. So then when I slide the other bit in, it meshes. It's like this has shrunk because that is only into there and it wants to be about there. Oh, it's not even that far. So we're going to make a new bracket for that end out of the two that we've got. Yeah, what's happened, because the doors have rotted off at the bottom, they've not sat in the channel. Because they've not sat in the channel, when they've opened, they've been able to swing round this end stop, which has then knocked the end off either end, and then the whole thing's knackered. Need to trim all the stuff out the bottom and then patch them all up and give them a good repainting. Though that's the wrong end, we've realised we can put it upside down because we've still got a bolt fixing there or there. So we're going to go up and see if we can drill in the right place and use these roll bolts. We tried to flick that way, but of course that then ends up in thin air. So we'll just put that on and we'll come up and drill that properly and put a bolt through, but we're not going to steal a bit big enough with us. And that'll be the end stop. But at least it won't fall off. One of the rollers is seized. There you go. How wide's that now? Is it all the way open?
About 6 inches off the pillar.
Oh, go on, keep going then. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's all right, isn't it? This one's painted now on that. Needs something, I think, to stop that rocking, or put a stud iron through there maybe. Actually, that's steel. We could weld that. We could just put a blob of weld here and there and stop that moving. It's probably the best thing. Looks so much better without that hanging off. Just need to take that tree out now. Got to a fair size, that tree that was hanging off the building. Is there? Just there by the gutter. Might have to go the other end and push it. They're far from good as new, but at least they're not hanging off anymore. So they're nearly not wide enough, are they? Yeah, if you push the other one a little bit now. Yeah, there you go. We'll just get some plywood, patch it up. Change of plan, taking the cherry picker back now. Andrew's going to use it over the weekend, but I've got to get this trailer out this field. It's been parked there all day, and I looped in nice and easy. But I think I'm going to have to back and back that way and swing that way. But we'll try it. Oh my God, the heat in here. The windows have been shut all day. It's so hot. Hopefully the other one's on its way back off its holidays. It's on Pemberton's as well, so we'll see him in a bit. See how fast that was? You can't do that in a Valtra, you have to wait a bit. Tony's going to guide me now. Kind of swing it all the way round the hedge, or am I going to have to back it into the gap and try and go around that bend? Oh, actually no, it's not too bad. It's worse than I thought. I'll try and hook it round there. Maybe I can't swing the front round. Black and a miss. Just missing that pillar. Just missing the front. Oh, that's not bad. Easier than I thought. If I'd have had to go round there though, I'd have struggled to get round that bend there with the bricks. But I'm out. Need to sort that doorway out as well. This is exactly what you need to keep the sun off your face in this weather. The Oscar edition hat. There's different colours. I'll show you in a minute. Let me just load these tables up that we forgot to take before. I've not used this before, but look, open the back cave. Ta-da! Pallet of seed socks ready to be packaged and put together. And down it goes. It's good, that, isn't it? Now, can we lift the burr into the back of the van? Let's see. I'll back it closer, Andrew. Back on the garden. Shaping like a lettuce there. Right, you're going on your holidays to Brookhouse. I'll do. Andrew's just manhandling the bear. We've covered him up so he doesn't know where we're going. We're taking him to a secret location. Don't pull his ears off, they're not as strong as yours. So just pull the bucket back now. Oh no, it needs to be in the middle, doesn't it? Let me jump up. That is what we needed for loading the bear. That's what we needed for loading the bear on. Take it off the diesel. Yeah, that's strapped on now as well. The bear has arrived. I thought you were helping Granny, James. He had a slight mishap on his tractor yesterday. This is it. Didn't quite get it on video either. Aviation update. Someone's on their holidays or going. What are you doing up here? You gonna stand next to the bear for scale? No. There we go. That'll do, won't it? That looks like it's the side of the trailer event on its way back. It sure is, but it's coming the wrong gateway, but never mind. Anyway, we'll get Tom through the birthday bumper. Right, Tom's going to do the birthdays. Off you go, Tom.
So, today's birthday we have Thomas McGrath, Anthony Jacob, who's 51, Emma Rogerson, who's 21. Happy birthday. We've got Mark Proctor, who's 60. We have Mark Hollyhead, which is 53. Hollinshead, sorry. 53. Joe Harley, which is 16 on the 12th. And the grand total race for the Air Ramblers is 90,554. Happy birthday to everyone. Hope you have a great day. And we'll see you in the next one. See you later.
And I forgot again today, it was my Uncle Richard's birthday yesterday as well. Anyway, find out what damage Tom's done to the tractor tomorrow. And you can tell by the face. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
It's going to be a thumbnail, isn't it?
Tomorrow. What's Tom done to the tractor?
To be fair, I nearly rolled the trailer, so it's less damage than I could have done. And I did offer to pay for it.
Right, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Time.
Bye. Oh, one last thing. Here's the GB News bit. I've put a little bit in beforehand because it gives it a bit of context. And after.
Bit of back and forth over ethanol and pork. We gave way on ethanol, but not on pork.
Now we're going to go speak to a farmer, Olly Harrison, to see what he makes of this deal. There have been some farming campaigners who aren't best pleased. Olly, where do you stand on this?
Well, she hasn't got farming's back, has she? Let's just rewind a little bit and explain what ethanol is. So ethanol is basically alcohol, and you produce that from grains. So what they've allowed to happen now is ethanol to flood in from the US, which is produced very cheaply because they've got cheap energy, which we don't have. So the ethanol industry to UK ag is probably 10 to 15% of the grains. And then once they produce the ethanol, then that becomes animal feed. Well, now that has undermined that market of a vast quantity of our grains, because they can bring it from the other side of the world where it's been produced cheaper.
But why is that bad?
Sorry?
Why would that be bad?
Because
we're accessing cheaper products. I mean, farmers could specialise in something other than ethanol if it can be made much more efficiently in another country.
OK, so what do you want us to use fields for then?
Well, you could grow... how many crops are there under the sun? I mean, there are lots of choices.
No. So the main crops in the UK are wheat and barley, and both of them can be used for ethanol or alcohol production. I mean, do you want Scotch whisky that's actually got alcohol that's been produced in the States in it? You know, if these industries aren't protected, like they said they've gone and protected the steel industry, yeah, that's great. They've secured them jobs, but do farmers' jobs not matter? Do people's food not matter? You know, the grains, once it's produced, the ethanol then produces cheaper beef. Now, the tariff that we've got on the beef, by the sounds of things, means that they can bring it in from the US for us with no tariff, but when ours goes the other way, it's got a tariff on it. It doesn't sound a good deal to me. It sounds like a rocking of the industry even more and another kicking. The best hope for us now is that the EU and the US end up with a bad deal, and then there's some stability in the grains market to head into the EU then.
But Olly, I mean, the way that steel has been protected in this deal isn't because we've whacked up tariffs on foreign steel. It's because we've cut down tariffs to allow our steel to be exported to the United States. You seem to be concerned that we're cutting our tariffs and making it easier to have foreign goods being imported to the UK. Most economists would say that that's a benefit for the UK.
Yeah, so they've cut the tariffs so that stuff that can be produced through a standards that we don't have. So producing grains in the UK is very expensive, just like producing steel is, because we can't use some of the technologies that we're using, and we don't have the scale. The same as the steel can't be produced cheaply because we pay dear for energy. Well, we pay dear for our input costs to produce grains. So if now they're going to either use them grains over there and send it in as ethanol, then it's going to undermine our farming industry that already...
So, Olly, this would be fine. This would all be fine if we had an energy strategy in this country that left us with cheap and plentiful energy. But what you're saying is that because of various policy choices and because of how things are in this country, it's very difficult as it is to be competitive. And then this is yet another hammer blow to the industry, the farming industry.
Yeah, every time you fill your car up now, it'll say E10 on the pump. That is 10% ethanol. No one really knows what it is, but it has to be made from something, and it is generally made from grains. And that basically is two uses for them grains. We grow them, then they go to an ethanol plant, and then they're used to produce beef or sheep or whatever. But in the meantime, they took the ethanol out to put into fuel. But now they can bring the ethanol from somewhere where it's cheaper to produce because they can use farming practices that are illegal here. They can produce grains cheaper than us. They can make ethanol cheaper than us because they've got cheaper energy. What is that going to do to our farming?
It could bring down the prices at the pump.
The cost of production, sorry?
It could bring down the cost of buying petrol at the pump. I mean, if 10% of that is ethanol and the ethanol gets cheaper, that's cheaper gas.
1% on 10% is not a massive saving. The thing that changes the pump price is the cost of oil. Who buys oil cheaper than anyone else? Not us.
OK, well, Olly Harrison, thank you very much indeed. Good luck with everything. Farmer Olly Harrison there. Having a little bit of a back and forth with you, Tom. I think, in theory, of course, bringing down tariffs, fantastic, beneficial for both economies, good stuff. But I think it is important to look at how different industries will be impacted. And I feel like farmers at the moment feel like they're being hit from all sides. You've got the family farm tax. You've got ever-changing environmental standards and regulations. Then you've got a trade deal with an absolutely huge economy with a huge agricultural sector. And you can understand why a lot of farmers are feeling a little bit worried about their livelihoods. Then there's the additional thing. You say, oh, yes, it's good if we have all these different supply chains and things like this. Yes, but there is a strong way of thinking that actually this country does need to have a level of food independence, a level of food security that can't always rely on supply chains to other countries.
I think that would be
a strong argument.
It would be a very damaging thing to have food independence.
Well, not food, you know what I mean, a level of food independence, so that, whatever happened in the world, you could at least produce X amount.